I'm really impressed by the quality of comments that are being posted under these YouTube videos. There's such richness, and if you want a very interesting 10, 15, 20 minutes, read some of the comments, particularly some of the longer ones. They're so well informed, and there's some serious research and thought that's gone on behind them. I can't answer all of them because there's so many, but believe me, I read as much as I possibly can, even stuff that I won't agree with. I find it stimulating and really exciting. Jan Anders, is it Jan or Jan? I'm not sure. Is talking about Medvedev, and I know I've been pulled up, by the way, putting Y's all over the place, but Medvedev, you could put a Y after every E, frankly, and sometimes my Y's get in the way, partly because I'm used to seeing it in Cyrillic, and I perhaps don't think clearly enough when I'm scribbling it out in English, for which apologies. But this comment talks about the foolishness of sulking and threatening, pouting in public. But I think possibly Medvedev is right to do so, because he's really focusing on a domestic audience, and I'm not entirely sure that he's wrong in his approach. Toughness is seen as a virtue in Russia, and so the next leader of Russia needs to come across as a strong individual. And Medvedev, let me assure you, if you came across him in a room, on the one hand, he's a gentleman. On the other hand, he's a bit limp. And shaking hands with him is a bit like shaking hands with a wet cabbage. Charming, but you need to wipe discreetly after meeting him. And I think he's trying to toughen up his act so that he can be in the running over people like Nikolai Patrushev. Nikolai Patrushev is probably the main contender for succession after Putin if Russia wishes to continue down this current direction. And he's a little bit alarming. He's the sort of person who thinks that Georgy Rogozin, the wild speculations of the occult and stuff, is correct. The fantasies of Rogozin are absurd. He's had a number of these fantasies, and these are quoted by Patrushev, and I think that's disturbing. He looks for Russophobia. He looks for situations that he can counter with propaganda and misdirection. He is a master of misdirection. Why? Well, he was a high-ranking FSB officer. He's an ex-KGB officer like Putin. He hails from Leningrad, now St. Petersburg. The only thing against him being an obvious successor is his age. He's pretty well the same age as Putin, if not, I think, slightly older. And so he would be in a holding position should he succeed the master. So Medvedev still has a chance of becoming president again. And I strongly suspect that all the bluster, all the rhetoric is with that in mind. Nothing else. I don't think Medvedev is about to press any buttons. And I don't think that the sort of bluster he comes out with is really a true reflection of the man himself. The man himself, as I say, is a gentleman. He's a good man. And I think another Medvedev presidency would not necessarily be a disaster. But at the same time, there is a move in the Kremlin at the moment which is dark and sinister, and people get caught up in evil, and it distorts what good there is. And Medvedev may well be in that form of distortion. He may have been given slightly too much honey for any good bear to devour. He's been led astray, Medvedev.